Mathias Hildesheimer is the ultimate sage, basically the goat of magic, but there's a catch. His insane power is capped by the lame magic crest he was born with. So, what does he do? Dude straight up reincarnates himself to get a fresh start and snag the best crest for magical combat. Fast forward to his new life. Mathias gets exactly what he wanted, the perfect crest. Turns out, this new world has awful standards for magic. Everyone thinks Mathias is some kind of magical flop because they don't even recognize how OP his crest is. But don't worry, Mathias isn't about to let some backward thinking stop him. He's out to prove them all wrong. Long ago, the ugly virgin Gaius was duking it out with a dragon, grumbling about how his first crest was basically the magical equivalent of a flat tire. As the dragon roasted the landscape, Virgin Gaius had an epiphany. If this crest isn't going to cut it, I'm out. So, like any sane person, he cast a reincarnation spell to give life another shot, this time with the legendary fourth crest in mind. Fast forward to the present, and Gaius is now a kid named Matty. He's got the fourth crest, a wagon ride to the capital, and big plans to ace the Academy's entrance exams. On the way, Matty senses a calamity-level monster nearby, but the wagon driver rolls his eyes. Cue a massive tiger beast jumping out of the bushes. Matty wastes no time turning the creature into a footnote, leaving the driver in open-mouthed shock. At the capital, Matty pops into a weapon shop where Alma is begging the blacksmith, BEIs, to fix her friend's busted magic sword. Vice shuts her down faster than a broken vending machine. Overhearing the drama, Matty offers to enchant a new sword for Alma. BEIs and Alma argue over whether Matty's up to the task, but Alma's all in. They sit down to chat. Luri, Alma's friend, swings by, and after some introductions, Bice hands over her repaired sword. Matty enchants it in record time. Luri gives it a test swing and accidentally slices their table clean in half. Everyone is floored, not only by how fast Matty worked, but that he didn't even chant. BEIs, equal parts amazed and confused, asks Matty to become an enchanter. Exam day rolls around, and Matty's up against Guile, who's eager to test Matty's skills, especially since his dad's a known swordsman. The fight? Not even close. Matty enhances his sword mid-battle and wipes the floor with Guile. Next, it's time for the magic test fire arrows at 5 targets. Luri nails it with her first crest, but Matty decides to show off. Instead of arrows, he fires a fireball that leaves a giant crater in the exam grounds. Later, decked out in his snazzy academy uniform, Matty runs into Alma and Luri again. Together, they attend the opening ceremony, where Headmaster Edward gives a speech and pulls Matty aside afterward. Matty's sweating bullets. Sure, he's about to get expelled for his over-the-top fireball stunt, but Edward surprises him. Instead of scolding, he asks Matty to teach Chantless spell casting, something the Academy's been too stubborn to embrace, especially with an inter-school competition coming up. Matty agrees and demonstrates his Chantless magic to the students, with teacher Geisal joining in. By evening, Alma's already showing off her new Chantless skills, and Luri follows suit after Matty gives her a magic power boost. At the inter-school competition, Matty's demon radar pings. Turns out one of the competitors, Devilus, is a demon in disguise, along with his goons. Matty obliterates the henchman with one spell and needles Devilus into showing his true colors, literally. The demon, trying to act cool, attempts Chantless magic, but Matty's too sharp for that. With a spellbreaker, he strips away Devilus's human disguise. The demon tries to bolt, but Matty shuts him down like a pro, leaving the arena in awe. After Matty obliterates the demon Devilus in front of an audience of stunned students and teachers, he gets an enthusiastic hug from Luri, because hey, who wouldn't hug their hero after watching them body a demon? But there's no rest for the wicked or the wickedly talented, because next thing you know, Matty and Edward are chilling in the royal castle, having a chat with the king. The king's asked about a fief, but quickly realizes that granting land to a kid who just revealed demons are infiltrating society might send the kingdom into a collective panic. Instead, Matty opts for a treasure trove of dungeon spoils. Things get serious when the king brings up the missing magical chosen ones and his theory that demons have been sneaking into human society for centuries. Matty internally facepalms, recalling how he nearly wiped out demons in his past life only for the survivors to hide among humans, spreading magical fake news that made everyone dumber over time. Now that the demons are dropping the whole blending and act, Matty warns the king they're gearing up for an all-out war. 3 months, tops, before things hit the fan. Matty's solution? A kingdom-wide barrier to fend off the demons. All he needs is a divine-class artifact and a ton of help from second-year students. Oh, and about a month to pull it off. The king, clearly impressed, puts Matty in charge of humanity's fight against the demons. In the castle's treasure room, Matty casually discovers a couple of his old creations from his past life, a magical sword and an X-boosting pendant. The pendant's about to make leveling up a breeze. Outside, Matty oversees the students practicing Chantless magic, and Alma and Luri corner him about this whole barrier thing. Matty spills the beans and casually invites them to join him in dungeon crawling. At first, the girls are like, us? Fight? But Matty whips out some solid training tips archery for Luri and enchanting for Alma, and suddenly, they're on board. Inside the dungeon, Matty sets up some hands-on training. He grabs a tiny monster and turns it into Luri's enchanted archery practice dummy. Soon, she's threading her arrows like a pro, taking down multiple monsters with a single shot. Meanwhile, Matty teaches Alma the art of refining dungeon ore, and they score some shiny mithril and iron clusters. Alma starts crafting weapons, while Luri gets so good at her archery she starts racking up a monster body count like it's a video game. As a team, they head to the dungeon's 10th floor, where their skills are put to the test. Luri and Alma absolutely crush it, and thanks to Maddie's X-boosting pendant, they level up faster than a speedrunner at a gaming marathon. Their big challenge? A killer dog. Thanks to teamwork, they take it down in style. While the girls set up camp, Maddie ventures deeper into the dungeon. He finds some adamantite and stumbles upon a boss monster, the Arc Serpent. It's a tough fight, but Maddie pulls out all the stops and takes it down. Elsewhere, two demons sense the massive magic burst from Maddie's battle, but they shrug it off, convinced humans couldn't possibly wield that much power anymore. Maddie returns to camp, casually dragging the Arc Serpent's corpse behind him. Alma and Luri, completely floored. Then Maddie shrugs, like it's no big deal. Maddie, Luri, and Alma stroll into the local adventurers guild to cash in on their dungeon haul. The receptionist, clearly underestimating our boy, assumes Maddie is the group's porter. Maddie, being Maddie, decides to set the record straight in the most dramatic way possible by whipping out the severed head of the Arc Serpent from his inventory. Yup, just casually flexing on everyone. Outside, the guild appraises the loot, including the Arc Serpent's Magistone, which is basically a national treasure. But Maddie, ever the perfectionist, acts like it's not big enough for my kingdom-saving barrier, even though the guild can't technically afford the haul. Maddie's party still walks away with a cool 750 gold. They decide to split the cash 3 ways, because teamwork makes the dream work. On the way back to the academy, Maddie suddenly senses 2 powerful demons lurking nearby. Luri and Alma feel it too. Up in the sky, 2 demons, Ashral and Deshril, are plotting to attack the Royal Academy. Maddie sizes them up and warns the girls that one of these baddies is even stronger than Devilish. The group splits up. Maddie takes on Ashral solo, while Luri and Alma team up against Deshril. Maddie doesn't waste a second and goes full offense. When Ashral throws a massive fire spell at him, Maddie casually redirects it using his magic control spheres. Deshril tries to defend his boss, but gets smacked by Luri's arrows, which have a nifty debuff effect. Furious, Ashral orders Deshril to deal with the girls, while he focuses on Maddie. Ashral and Maddie face off in an epic battle of magic and strategy. Ashral tries to flex with a massive spell, but Maddie pinpoint snipes its weak spot, blowing it up like it's no big deal. When Ashral tries to make a run for it, Maddie's control spheres block his escape. The demon even busts out a hidden magic circle, but Maddie isn't having it. Eventually, Maddie traps Ashral in an occlusion orb, grounding him like a misbehaving child. Ashral makes one last attempt at summoning monsters, but Maddie shuts that down too. Meanwhile, Luri and Alma are absolutely crushing it against Deshril with guerrilla tactics, and Maddie steps in just in time to finish the job. With both demons down for the count, the fight attracts a crowd, not wanting to deal with the Q&A session that's bound to follow. Maddie grabs the girls and uses a levitation spell to make a quick getaway. The next day, Maddie, Edward, and the girls meet with the king again. As a reward for saving the day, the king offers Maddie whatever he wants. After some thought, Maddie asks for more dungeons. The king, slightly confused but rolling with it, agrees. The girls, keeping it simple, ask for money. Mid-meeting, Maddie calls out a demon spy trying to eavesdrop on their conversation. When the demon refuses to show itself, Maddie disrupts its magical feed, making it scream in pain. Turns out it's Elhart, a former captain of the Magic Order. The king is understandably shocked, and Maddie explains how Elhart managed to pull off this creepy surveillance stunt. Using his genius-level brain, Maddie pinpoints the location of the spell's origin, a ruined village. Maddie and his crew head to a spooky, desolate spot, while Edward and the academy students prepare a ridiculous amount of mithril for the kingdom-saving barrier. In the creepy location, they encounter a massive black dragon. Plot twist. The dragon, Iris, is an old buddy of Maddie's from his previous life. After some catching up, Maddie fixes Iris's tattered wings as best he can, and in return, Iris offers them a ride. Maddie makes sure Iris flies slow enough so no one dies en route, because let's be real, getting splattered mid-flight would seriously ruin the vibe. The gang rolls up to this super creepy ruined village, and Maddie wastes 0 time. He casually obliterates a demon chilling in the watchtower, leaving Luri, Alma, and Iris completely gobsmacked. They're just standing there like WTF. Maddie, being Maddie though, is already zoning in on 2 more magical presences, Elhart, who's apparently a minor nuisance, and some other demon who promises to be a bigger headache. While Maddie's doing his demon detective thing, Iris attempts to land her dragon self gracefully and fails spectacularly, crash landing into the tower. Inside the tower, Maddie sets up a telepathic group chat and hands Alma a snazzy casting circle for offense. When he senses a concealed demon lurking nearby, Maddie asks if anyone feels a weird magic dead zone. Alma spots it, and there's the demon, chilling in the corner, thinking he's still invisible. Not for long though, because Luri's enchanted arrow nails him right in the forehead. The demon's super salty about about being exposed and accuses Maddie of being an imposter. Naturally, this leads to an epic brawl where Maddie plays dodgeball with the demon's attacks while Luri and Alma pepper him with enchanted arrows. Cornered, the demon pulls a desperate move, casting Disfortune to bulk up like a roided-out linebacker. He charges at Luri and Alma only to hit an illusion made of magitoxins. Maddie sets him up and Luri delivers the final blow, another perfect headshot. Maddie, cool as a cucumber, calls the demon by name. Elhart. With the demon crew down to one, Maddie sends Luri and Alma off on Iris's back while he gears up for the final showdown. He smashes a bunch of magistones to stir up some magical chaos and forces the last demon out of his mist form. The demon, now thoroughly panicking, casts Magic Circuit Overload, hoping to go out with a bang. He covers the area in mist, trying to hide, but Maddie effortlessly cancels it. Then Maddie drops a bombshell. The magitoxin wasn't poison, it was a magic magnet. The demon explodes in a fiery blaze of excess power, leaving behind a shiny magistone called the Dragon Vein. Luri literally leaps off Iris to tackle hug Maddie after the fight, and the three regroup. Maddie explains the Dragon Vein's purpose. The demons were planning to spawn a monster horde about 5,000 strong and send them straight to the capital. Thanks to the explosion, the spawn point got shifted 10 kilometers away. On the ride back, Iris asks what's next for her. Maddie, ever the problem solver, suggests she enroll in the academy. Iris hesitates but agrees, then transforms into her human form completely naked. Back at the academy, Maddie turns in their demon-slaying spoils to Edward, who's impressed. Maddie also pitches the idea of Iris joining the academy. Edward agrees, but only if she passes an entrance exam scoring between 47 and 50 points. Maddie's like, sure, but I'm supervising this dragon needs to keep her magic in check. On exam day, Iris absolutely bombs the written test. Then in the sword duel, she sends her opponent flying into the roof. And for the magic portion, let's just say she accidentally obliterates the entire training ground. Despite the chaos, Iris somehow scrapes by and officially joins the academy. So, things kick off with Maddie chatting up Edward about some Royal Academy politics. Turns out, the second Royal Academy is stuck in a pickle because the Crest of Glory, basically the VIP badge for magical efficiency, is in short supply. Why? Because the snobby First Royal Academy is hoarding them like dragons hoard treasure. Maddie suggests asking the First Academy for help, and Edward reluctantly agrees to rope in the king for backup. Fachus comes in, the head of the First Academy, who storms into Edward's office like he owns the place. He starts throwing shade, calling the Second Academy inferior, which immediately gives Maddie flashbacks to his jerk of an older brother, Beifger. But Edward's not here for the drama. He cuts to the chase and asks for help erecting a kingdom-wide barrier to fend off the incoming demon horde. Fachus, being a pompous pain, refuses and insists on some kind of hierarchy nonsense. Maddie, tired of the back and forth, proposes a competition to settle things. Fachus smugly agrees but bans Maddie and his squad from participating because they're monsters. 2 days later, the Second Academy's 5 students face off against the First Academy's army. The match begins, and the First Academy students start chanting their spells like it's the Middle Ages. Meanwhile, the Second Academy students flex with wordless casting and absolutely annihilate their opponents. Fachus, predictably, throws a fit, claiming the Second Academy students are all monsters. To prove a point, Fachus demands Iris join the fight. She agrees, but bends Edward's sword like a wet noodle the second she picks it up. Fachus completely loses it, calling her a monster too, while Iris sulks about her delicate touch. Then the king shows up. Yes, the actual king. He's not happy to hear that Fachus has been ignoring his orders to teach chantless casting. When Fachus tries to weasel his way out of trouble, the king has him dragged away, kicking and screaming, by the guards. With Fachus gone, the king orders the First Academy students to team up with the Second Academy and learn how to actually modernize their magic. With the drama over, Maddie, Iris, Alma, and Luri head into a dungeon to nab a 60-centimeter magistone. But here's the catch. They have to summon a monster to get it. Naturally, the girls face off against dungeon critters while Maddie evaluates their skills. Spoiler alert, Iris's strength is still a lot. They finally find the magistone, and Maddie has Luri set up a casting circle while Alma helps. Iris is tasked with infusing the stone with magic, but she overdoes it and summons a massive dragon instead. Chaos ensues. Maddie stays cool under pressure, barking out orders while Iris tries to keep the dragon busy. Alma and Luri work together to attack, but it's like trying to stop a tank with a slingshot. Eventually, Iris punches the dragon to save her friends, and Maddie reflects the dragon's breath attack back at it. It's an epic move, but Iris nearly ruins it by falling into a pit she accidentally made. Maddie protects her with a barrier, taking the brunt of the explosion himself. Somehow, he walks away unscathed. With the dragon defeated and the magistone in hand, Maddie officially invites Iris to join the party. Now that Iris is part of the team, Maddie sets up a training regime to help her get used to her human form. It involves dodging Alma's arrows while balancing a shell on her head. Sounds simple, simple? It's not. Meanwhile, Luri is tasked with crafting new weapons for everyone to level up her enchanting skills. She even makes Maddie a custom sword that can handle 8 enchantments. After some trial and error, the team gets their new gear: a sword for Luri, a bow for Alma, and a spear for Iris. With everyone powered up, Maddie hints that his time at the Second Royal Academy might be coming to an end soon.